Hi and welcome. It's the Baylor Coaches Show live from Rudy's on the Circle in Waco. We're glad you're with us this evening. This is our final Coaches Show of the semester. We're sad about that, but we've got a great hour lined up for you. Coach Glenn Moore is our leadoff hitter, and he is the head coach for Baylor softball, and Steve Rodriguez will follow Baylor baseball coach tonight. So welcome to you, those of you here at Rudy's, and those of you watching, those of you listening, and join me in welcoming Coach Glenn Moore, Baylor's head softball coach in his 22nd season as our first guest tonight. 22 years. How about that?
And I'm only 25.
That's amazing. How did you do it? You started really young.
Really young. Yep.
That is great. What a great career. What a great successful career here. And I appreciate you being with us. Hard to believe this season, or is it hard to believe this season is starting to wind down?
It is hard to believe. It's been a challenging one, but a fun one at the same time. And, you know, we still have a lot of softball left to play, I hope, John. And the girls are playing their best ball right now. So, yeah, it's starting to look like summer and softball weather. So yeah, there's great energy at practice today. So a lot of good things going on.
This is what you want, isn't it? You want to be peaking at the right time, playing your best softball late in the year?
Yeah, we're peaking a little late, but we are peaking. We would like to peak a little bit earlier, and you know. But I do like the way we're playing right now, and it's just taken us. We're so young, the youngest team I've ever coached. So it's taking a little bit longer to figure out the combination that works. And then we're dealing with what everybody else is dealing with a couple of injuries. So just when you start getting in sync with things, then you have a key player that goes down for a little while. Thank goodness. We're getting healthy again, and you know, we think we're going to get back in sync again before it's all over with.
It is a young team, and you say flat out the youngest team you've ever had here?
It is the youngest team I've ever had here. My first year of coaching, I had a lot of freshmen and sophomores,
right?
But not here at Baylor. So you know, we're basically a junior college team with mostly freshmen and sophomores. We'll be honoring 2 seniors at this weekend, and you know, it's always sad to see them go.
But talented freshmen. I mean, some of those freshmen are, a good number of them are in the starting lineup or in key roles, and I mean, they're really, really talented.
Yeah, I think it's certainly 2 good classes, the sophomore class as well, and it's a little larger. So most of our starters are sophomores, but we have some freshmen that are playing vital roles and growing up fast. You know, I always tell them they're not freshmen anymore because they've been here a year. This is the end of the freshman year, so now they're really sophomores in their season. So no more excuses. I guess I can make the excuses. I'm the coach, but they can't make excuses, and their sophomores are really juniors right now. They're about to move into that next grade.
Coming off a series this past weekend, you won 2 of 3 from Texas Tech, couple of shutouts in there, and then were shut out in Sunday's Game 3. Man, that would have been great to complete the sweep, get a sweep, but it was 2 out of 3.
Yeah, you know, we really need to do that. Did the same thing at Kansas, and we let that last one slip away. We did play a little more consistent this weekend. We just could not get the timely hitting. And the whole year we've been a little bit of a roller coaster team. We get one part of our game going, and we couldn't get the, you know, defense was going, or the defense hasn't been strong until as of late. But we get our hitting going, and our pitching let us down. Then our pitching gets going. Our hitting can't come through with a run. So we really hadn't been able to get in sync all year. And hopefully we're getting that point now, but to do it 3 games in a row is still a stretch for this team, I think, and it's tough in the Big 12. These are Power 5 teams, and they're playing to win too, and their backs are against the walls. They need to win ball games, so they're hard to beat a team 3 times, even if it's in your park.
And 2 conference series remaining in the regular season. Iowa State coming in beginning tomorrow, and then Texas a split series to end the regular season. So you're down to 6 games left in the regular season. Yeah,
and then the Big 12 tournament. Yeah. So you know, this weekend is our last home series, and then we have 1 game next Friday with Texas here, and then we go finish up 2 on the road down in Austin. And you know, again, every game matters a lot right now because you know, we're going to be looking at getting in the NCAAs by the skin of our teeth if we do that, and I'm a realist. That's where we are right now. We need to play well. Wins matter, and you know, I think we're 26-19 or something like that. But we need to win here, and we need to send a message to the NCAA committee that we're playing our best ball now, and we're consistently playing that. So these are all important games.
So where do you feel like you are there? I mean, you're it's going to take some work, but you've got opportunities ahead of you to get some key wins. You talked about it today at media, and I think your players, a couple of them who were with us, they were saying the same thing. I mean, you're talking about it. It's flat out. We need to win to get to postseason.
Yeah, I've never been one to hide the facts with our team, to know what they're up against, and we lost a lot of close games early on, some key victories that we had in the palm of our hand and we let slip away in late innings that you might see sometimes with young teams. We just couldn't seal the deal for so long, and so many games that would have been marquee games in front of the committee. So backs are against the wall right now, and we've winning as of late, and moving forward, if we continue to win, I feel relatively good but not comfortable. I think we can I've told the team I still think we control our destiny, and I don't think we necessarily have to win every game, but we have to win the majority of them, and that's of course tough. Iowa State doesn't look good on paper in the Big 12, but they had Texas 2 games ahead in the last inning of 2 games, and they allowed them to come back and beat them, and they beat Oklahoma State, who's a top 10 team, and they're capable. We saw them earlier in the year. They're very much like us, so these are going to be challenges for us. And then of course Texas is going to be a high RPI game for us, or all 3, so it'd be nice to be able to have some success there as well.
And this is a year that I think you've always, for the most part, been in favor of a tournament, a postseason tournament, but especially this year. I mean, it'll give you more opportunities against quality opponents.
Yeah, we need every opportunity. When you're in a Power 5 like the Big 12, your conference games help you with RPI, and that's just one of the areas that the NCAA looks at, but it's a vital area. It's important that you have a decent RPI when you go before the committee and they're looking at who they're going to select for the field of 64. So yeah, I think the tournament will be an asset to us this year.
Very good. All right, that's coming up in Oklahoma City later this month. All right, we're off and running on the Baylor Coaches Show. Coach Glenn Moore, our guest, talking Baylor softball. We're glad you're with us. Brought to you in part by Rudy's. Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue. We'll take a break and be right back on the Baylor Coaches Show, live from Rudy's. Back with us live from Rudy's on the Baylor Coaches Show. We're glad you're with us this evening. Our final show of the semester. Coach Glenn Moore, our guest to begin the show this evening. Glenn, we are fortunate tonight. You and I both have drinks up here, iced tea, and this is the first look at the new Camo Cup from Rudy's for this year.
I like it.
Not available until May 1st, but they gave us kind of a preview look here this evening. It goes to support their various military and veteran charities, and so the Camo Cup will be available at this Rudy's and selected Rudy's beginning on May 1st. So there's a look at it. Be a nice addition to your collection. You've got a good Rudy's Cup collection, don't you? I do too. I really do.
I have one more now.
And there you go. So thanks to Rudy's, and watch for those beginning this Sunday, May 1st, the Camo Cup for 2022. Back with Glenn Moore, Baylor softball coach. Let me ask you this. You started league play with Oklahoma and Oklahoma State right out of the box. Two teams in the top 10. Oklahoma #1, defending national champions. Actually played pretty well in a couple of those games against Oklahoma, but dropped both of those series to those two. How looking back on it now, how tough was it to open league play with those two right out of the chute?
It was very tough, and I think although we competed, as you said, very well, and had Oklahoma really in the palm of our hand. 1-run lead in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs, and they got 3 back-to-back hits after we missed an opportunity to end the game. They got 3 back-to-back hits and won the game.
Yeah.
So that one really hurt, and to have a team recover from that or help a team recover is a very difficult job. But we did. We came back and played well against Oklahoma State, but not well enough to get a victory there. So I think we took some stuff from that was good and very positive. So I think the team realized even though we're young, we can play with people. We had played with UCLA earlier in Oregon. Oregon State had knocked off Oregon and played well against some teams. But that was, Oklahoma's very, very good, very strong. And Oklahoma State's not far behind them. Yeah. So I think we gained some stuff, but at the same time, we're facing outstanding pitching, and pitching is the name of this game. So I think it hurt our confidence offensively, and we had a little trouble recovering from that. But we've been on a good ride ever since. We played well ever since, I think, overall.
I guess there's 2 schools of thought. Number one, oh, man, we got to start with Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Or, okay, let's play them, and then you're past them, and then, you just go on with the rest of your schedule. But there were some positives, like you said, coming out of those series.
Yeah, I think we're not in a position to say now we can cruise that we got past them, because we're better than no one, and we've kind of looked at it like that. But we have seen improvement in our team. I think this team would have improved quicker had we been able to identify where we were going to be defensively and just ride that out. But we've had to move some people around for various reasons. And this is not the infield that I envisioned going into this year. It didn't work out. Sometimes it's like that. Your cream rises to the top, and you try different things, and then other people move ahead of people. And then you got to insert your best offense, and sometimes you give up stuff defensively to have your best offense. So we just took a little longer. Usually I like to have that by mid-March, know who my best group of 9 is I'm going to put out there, and it took a little longer this year.
Back to the Oklahoma series, you really had them beat, like you said, that one game, and kind of the word after that series was you showed a blueprint to the rest of the country on maybe how to beat Oklahoma.
Well, it would be, you'd have to give credit to Daria Orm, because she threw an outstanding game against a team that had, I don't remember the exact number. David Brewster, our manager's here. He might be able to help us out. By the way, David's final year with us this year. And he's
David, fantastic.
Yeah,
thank you.
So, Katie probably, I forgot Katie's out there too. She could help you. But how many games had they ruled their opponents? 19 of 25, I think, at the time.
Wow.
Somewhere around that. That's inning games in 5 innings. So to be able to even play with them and stretch it to 7 was a goal.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, it's a goal, and we go down to the wire and had an opportunity to beat them.
Wow. At one point, it was 30 of 34 games. When they were 34-0, they'd rolled their opponent 30 of those.
Okay.
So, but they do have a lost 1 game at Texas earlier this year. Yeah. So you get past there, then you go to work and come back, but you say maybe a shot to your confidence offensively, and maybe still, or maybe just now coming out of that.
Well, and that combined with one of our best hitters not being in our lineup, Emily Hott, so we didn't have her over the course of those 2 weekends. And we need everybody. We need our whole arsenal to compete with the top 10 teams in the country, and we didn't have her. And she's from Oklahoma, so it's good to have that extra added determination to go back home. So, yeah, we were a little bit wounded, but at the same time, we played well in spite of that, I think. And, a win, a loss is only a loss if you don't learn something from it or you don't grow from it. So when you look at it like that, I think we turn those into wins, and we've been fairly successful since that day.
That's really good. You've got some additions to your team this year. A couple transfer from Fresno State who have been really significant to your success this year. Talk about Dari and McKenzie.
Well, Dari is the hardest throwing pitcher, fastest throwing pitcher we've ever had at Baylor.
Wow.
She's hit 74 quite often. She throws extremely hard and is really growing as a pitcher. She's special and has the mentality that you want in a pitcher as well. She's a bulldog out there. No pun intended coming from Fresno State. But she's a bear out there. How about that? She's a bear, and she's going to win a lot of games for us. She is very tough to hit. Crazy, we actually recruited McKenzie first, and McKenzie told us about Dari, her roommate, and we were on another pitcher that ended up not being able to transfer in out of the portal because of hours, and it worked out to where God always has a plan, John.
How about that?
And it's they're best friends, and they're both great leaders. McKenzie's a phenomenal athlete, one of the best we've ever had in our program. She's fun to watch. She's tough out. I've told people several times, if she has a bad at bat, my confidence in her goes up, whereas it may not with everyone else, because you can't get her out the same way twice. Yeah. She's a smart hitter, and she's going to figure it out. And I feel like the chances of them getting her out go down significantly whenever they just got her out. So she's just very fast. She's leading the Big 12 in triples and stolen bases, and she's a great outfielder as well.
Wow. So Dari in the circle, great addition. McKenzie in center field, that's great. Up the middle there, that's two great additions to your team this year. And McKenzie, really good to me at all aspects. I mean, she covers a lot of ground in center field, good defensively, really good at the plate, hitting over 400, leads the league in stolen bases. And it seems like defensively she's really, really good as well.
Strong arm. You know what? And on top of all that, they're just unbelievable people, too. They're great young ladies with great futures. They're going to change the world, and that's what you want. Preparing champions for life is our motto at Baylor, and these two are going to help us prepare other champions as well. I'm just really, really blessed to have them as a part of our program.
I like that. That is great. You mentioned some of your younger players. Talk about some of the young players who have really, Casey West, some others who have really taken on key roles for you this year.
Yeah, Casey, I'll just start with Casey West. She's from Liberty High School and won a couple state championships down there. A kid that you look at in the uniform and think she's a little small and may not be ready to play yet, and she's the one many times you want in the box when the game's on the line. She's a clutch hitter, ice water in her veins. We've asked her to move from outfield, one of those changes we weren't anticipating early on, to outfield to second base, and she's never really played second base or infield for that matter, and she's doing an outstanding job there, so she had to grow up quick there. We have I'm drawing blank on. We've got plenty.
Taylor.
Taylor Strain is one that is just a spark plug. Has been out of our lineup for a while with a stress reaction or fracture in her back, and we had her back for a little bit the other night. It was she felt pretty good, so we'll be playing her tomorrow and see how that goes. But she's in the top of our lineup, and we need her there. Great hitter, great bunter, great base runner from right here in Robinson. She's an outstanding player. I could go down the line with sophomores. We got plenty of those in our lineup. We're just, Aliyah Binford is a sophomore, Zadie LaValle, Sydney Colazas, Anna Watson. They're all sophomores. So hopefully with the talent we have in a couple more years to groom them, we'll be a very competitive team. And we already are, but I think in a year, this team adding a few players to this roster, we're going to be very good.
I like that. Very good. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Coach Glenn Moore, our guest, talking Baylor softball tonight to begin our Baylor Coaches Show. Hey, glad you're with us. Thanks to Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue. And we'll be right back after this. Back with us on the Baylor Coaches Show tonight, live from Rudy's. I want to give you our Baylor Scott and White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics health tip for the week. Don't let pain slow you down. We diagnose and treat sports-related injuries and provide orthopedic services for athletes and non-athletes alike. Visit a Baylor Scott and White Sports Medicine and Orthopedics specialist and move like you used to. Thanks to Baylor Scott and White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Back with Glenn Moore, Baylor softball coach. Neat pregame ceremony on Sunday prior to the series finale against Texas Tech. President Livingstone was there. Jordan Ostrike was there. Jordan Strickland when she played for you. But you and Hoot and Britt were recognized as Baylor alumni by choice. What a great, great honor. Congratulations to you.
That was awesome, and it's a blessing to be at Baylor and to be recognized, you know, especially with those other two who are phenomenal people, as you know, and been here a long time, and the place has been very good to us. So that was a neat honor, and to have President Livingstone present it, and you as well, was an honor as well. So thank you.
It was really cool. It's a great honor. Roy and Ann are Baylor alumni by choice, so really, really cool there. You're in good company. So a combined almost 70 years experience at Baylor between you three. And that, I mean, you need more than a decree from the university because of that.
Yeah, that was, you know, when you go into coaching, you know, this is a crazy business. Anything can happen, and the good Lord has blessed my whole family with being able to be here long enough to get my kids through Lorena High School, and JC's about to graduate. I was glad I got my Baylor degree before she did. So, but she's about to graduate, and so yeah, we've been very blessed to be here.
You beat her by a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah,
or 3 weeks or so. That's good.
Yeah.
And you, oh yeah, with 4-0. How about that?
Yeah, well, I didn't make any. I didn't make any D's or F's either. You know, at Baylor.
That is great, and congratulations on JC's upcoming graduation. We've got some questions for you from the audience. This is our First Place Foods Ask the Coach. First Place Foods, that's a darn good pickle. First from Andy. Where is Andy? Where did this question come from? I don't see, but Andy is here somewhere. He says, what's your favorite coaching memory? Good question.
Man, I have so many memories. The one that I go back to, and I'm a little shameful to say, but it includes the World Series 2011. My son Ty was in our dugout, and when we lost out of that, I was over there after everyone left, and he was crying, so I hugged him, told him we'd be back. And we were in 2014. We came back, and we were down to Kentucky, as many people know. We were down 7 runs to Kentucky late in the game, and I went over then the dugout. He's standing over there. I said, "You're not going to cry after this one." And obviously, I know what that looks like, but he looked at me like I was crazy. He said, "Cry?" He said, "We're going to win." And sure enough, we came back and won that one. It's the largest comeback in World Series history, and extra innings and beat Kentucky, and he has not let me live that down to this day. But I'm proud of that memory because we came back and beat Kentucky in that game.
Wow, that is great. That is a great memory. Way to go, Ty. All right, another question. Our First Place Foods Ask the Coach from Isaac. Where's Isaac? Isaac, somewhere here, says, do you believe you have the best managerial staff in the country? Yeah.
Isaac may be an imposter, but
yeah.
I do know I have the best managerial staff in the country, and I have the best staff, period, in the country. But those guys, David and Z, and they work, Emma, I said Emma, it's so good I don't even know her name. They work so hard behind the scenes and put in so many hours. I'm just really blessed. We're blessed to have them. We're blessed to have everybody a part of our program.
Very good. Isaac, whoever you are, good question. Thanks for allowing us to talk about that managerial staff. Good questions. First Place Foods, Ask the Coach. First Place Foods, that's a darn good pickle. All right, Iowa State comes in this weekend, and like we said, you've got 6 games left in the regular season. 4 are at home. These 3 this weekend, the Friday night game of the Texas series, then you finish in Austin, then go on to Oklahoma City. And you'll do Senior Day this Sunday.
That's right.
It's a small group of seniors, but very significant senior
group. It is. Kendall Cross has been here. This is her 4th year, and she's finishing up here. What an outstanding student and person she is, and she's our first baseman. And then we have a transfer in from Illinois, Ryan Trochum, daughter of Sean Trochum at MCC. Ryan is a graduate transfer for us, and they're both graduating or finishing up, and their Senior Day, they'll be recognized on Sunday. Very proud of them and all they've contributed to our program.
Very nice. You always do Senior Day so well. I mean, it's really nice with the videos and paint their numbers, and the edge of the grass there.
I wish I could take responsibility for that, but there's people around me. The great staff we've mentioned have done an outstanding job of recognizing our student athletes.
That is good. Very good. All right, and important games, obviously, against Iowa State. You've said a couple of times this year, like when you played Kansas, and then again when you played Texas Tech, you said they're just like us. There are twins, and you said today Iowa State is just like you also.
I think there's so many similarities. They're having the same struggles we're having. They're having some success like we're having, and I think they've got Iowa State, for instance, has a pitcher that throws in 70 miles an hour. They have a lot of things that look just like us, and I told the team against Kansas and against Texas Tech, the team that's ready to play and has prepared the most will have the success, and I think that was the case in both of those series, and it will be this weekend as well.
Very good. Get them at home. That's good.
Yep.
And let me ask you, we haven't talked much about her. You mentioned her, Aliyah Binford, but, man, she is going great, playing really well. If you play her in the circle, she pitches well. You put her at defense, made a great stab to get the final out the other night. And hitting really well also.
She's a phenomenal athlete. She's becoming a great leader for us, and certainly by action, her ability to do all those things. And it's tough to ask a kid to play at this level and do one thing, and we're asking her to do multiple things. So I'm really proud of what she's doing. She has a killer changeup. If you're a fan of fast-pitch softball pitching, if you wonder how they do it and why it looks so crazy, come watch this kid, because she tips no pitches and she throws about 3 or 4 different speeds, and she makes hitters look really bad. If we can keep her healthy, and knock on wood, she can win a lot of games for us too. So she works well with Daria Orm throwing 70, 74, and she comes in and can throw hard, but her bread and butter is her change of speeds and her movement.
Yeah, 10 strikeouts the other night. When was that? Oh, it was game 2 against Texas Tech. 10 strikeouts in that game. Is that, I mean, to me, that is a really good 1-2 punch. They really complement each other.
They really do, probably as well as any 1-2 punch that I've ever had. They both have room to grow, and they will, because they're both sophomores and young. But they have a pretty dang good pitching coach in Brittany Newman, who, by the way, will be inducted into the Hall of Fame in about a month and a half in Louisiana. So we're proud of that. But she's a great pitching coach, and she grooms pitchers every year. She'll have one for us ready for sure. And this year she's got a couple, so we need them this year for sure.
That's great. Well, good luck this weekend. Good luck the remainder of the season, and thanks for being with us tonight.
Thank you, John. Good to be here as always.
Coach Glenn Moore with us, Baylor softball, and we'll turn the tables here a half hour, and Coach Rod will join us. Coach Steve Rodriguez will be with us when we come back. We'll continue on the Baylor Coaches Show right after this. And back as we continue on the Baylor Coaches Show, live from Rudy's on the Circle in Waco. Join me in welcoming Baylor's head baseball coach, Steve Rodriguez, our next guest. Coach, welcome to you.
Thank you, J-Mo.
Right off the practice field, right here.
That's right.
Timing work okay for you?
Perfect.
Good deal. Didn't have to cut anything short?
No.
Good deal.
Nope,
Thank you very much. Starting to warm up a little bit.
It is. It's actually baseball weather now.
Finally.
It only took 3 months.
Right. Last week in April. You guys went through your share of stuff. I mean, even a few weeks ago in Morgantown, that wasn't exactly baseball weather.
38 degrees, hail, sleet, rain, wind, sun. I mean, it was every hour. It was just constantly rotating. Whether put a jacket on or not, it was unbelievable. Yeah.
That's wild. Derek said on the air, all 4 seasons, like in one afternoon.
In an hour. It was unbelievable. Yeah, it was rain. It was like snowing Dippin' Dots for a while. It was like the weirdest white consistency. It was all over the place. It was weird. Yeah.
That is crazy, man. Well, thanks for being here this evening, and Texas Tech coming in this weekend. Big series for you guys. Man, are y'all banged up. I'm not telling you anything you don't know.
Really?
But yeah. News flash. You've had to deal with a lot of guys not available to you this year.
That is correct.
Yes.
Yeah, we pretty much lost all 3 starters. We're starting to get one back. Blake is coming back. He'll start for us on Sunday. He'll be limited with what he can do. We're trying to build him back up after missing 2 months. And, first baseman, Chase Wesner, was hit by a pitch, and so he'll be out at least 3 to 4 weeks with a broken hand. And Will Rigney, we're trying to wait for some results in regards to what we're dealing with there. And obviously Tyler Thomas is going to be getting Tommy John surgery here in early May. So, yeah, we're looking for guys to step up right now.
Golly, that's tough. Have you ever been through a season hit this hard with injuries?
I've had it where you miss a starting pitcher and you got to make some moves and adjust on one day, and you can kind of shift some starters around. But when you're when you lose your starters and then you come back with some relievers, and then some of our top relievers are actually kind of dealing with a virus right now, not coronavirus by any stretch, but dealing with something that they're going to be out for a little bit. Then you got to start bringing in other people who it's just not what they're supposed to be doing right now.
Right.
And so you literally put them in a spot where you'll say, hey, we're going to focus on one inning, one out, and you want to make sure they have an opportunity for some success. But some of them are putting in spots that typically would be later in a game or in a different opportunity. But I told them, I said, you came to here to get an opportunity and experience it. Well, now you do.
They're getting it, right?
Now you do.
They are getting it. What's that like, though? I mean, I know you and Coach Strauss, your pitching coach, you go into a game with a plan. Sometimes the plan works. Sometimes it doesn't. You got to adjust on the fly.
It was Mike Tyson this past weekend. It was like everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Right.
When you have two starters go one inning, and then you have to make an adjustment on the fly, and you also have to realize we have a limited roster, so you have to prepare for 3 games, and we were able to get 1 inning out of one of our guys, and so you got to prepare for that. And it's not the easiest thing by any stretch, but you got to find a way.
Wow. And it's hit your pitching staff really hard, but some others too, like Wesner. That's tough. I mean, he was really your bats, and he have been going pretty well lately.
Yeah, he was in the middle of our order, one of our top RBI guys, and just probably one of the best defensive first basemen in the country.
Yeah.
And just phenomenal at it. So, having to move some people around, giving some other guys opportunities, and trying to get them all in the right spots to make the game work.
Who do you have at first base? Kyle Nevin?
Kyle Nevin
first
will
base?
be there to start. We have Casey Newman who can also play there. It's just a matter of how they match up offensively and defensively, what we're going to be looking at. So there could be some mixing and matching a little bit.
Let's talk defense. Your defense, for the most part this year, has been really, really, I think, very solid. You lead the Big 12. You've been one of the top teams in the nation in double plays turned.
Well, I tell people all the time that's one of the things that from an infielder and myself, when ground balls hit, and I even tell our team, when a ball's hit and it stays inside the park, it needs to be caught. And that's our job. It's just that simple. So we need to make sure that we do everything we can to get as many outs as quickly as possible. There's 27 of them. How we get them, I don't care. And if it's double plays, pickoffs, whatever. And so that's the whole goal, is to make sure that we're really good at it. And we play on a natural surface, so it's not turf. And so our guys, they have great hands, great feet, and that's what we really pride ourselves on.
Good. If somebody asks you, and I'm going to ask you.
If somebody asks you, like me,
who's your best defensive player? Who would you say?
Oh, myself. I am outstanding.
Of course.
No.
All right, let me say beyond you.
It's different because you have Jack Pineda, who has amazing instincts at shortstop. He does some things that even I'm looking at like, wow, that was a really good play. And then you have guys like Jared McKenzie out in center who make it look really easy when they're covering lots of ground. And then you have Harrison Cayley behind the plate who has an unbelievable arm. So there's different aspects of what you're looking at for defense, but those types of guys, and like Trey Richardson has he has freak quickness to get to balls, and I'm like, oh, that's a hit, and then all of a sudden he gets to it, and I'm like, wow, he covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time. So there's certain things like that really change a game when you're able to have defenders like that who can do the right things.
And you mentioned Chase Wesner at first base. He's been outstanding there defensively too.
Chase made guys who can really range and make some plays and just get the ball close to first base. He was able to make them look really, really good. But that's the thing is what's great is Kyle had a great game for us on Oklahoma State last year. Chase was out with COVID. And Kyle, it was raining and balls were skipping all over the place, and he just did an unbelievable job. And he has that length. He's 6'5" and has some length to him, so he's going to do just fine over there.
Very good. What was your thought process? How did you come to the decision to flip Jack Pineda and Trey Richardson?
To be honest, I just didn't like how the double plays were being turned. There were some that should have been turned and weren't, and I just said, you know what, let's just flip it around and see how it looks. And sometimes it's just moving the chess pieces, and then the team takes off after that. And next thing you know, we started on a roll last year after that. So sometimes one little move like that can make a big difference.
Yeah, a good move.
Well,
that's a really good move.
I'm trying to look for those moves right now.
Yeah,
I'm trying to look for them. Yeah.
44 double plays turned this year. Nobody in the Big 12 has more. I don't know where you are nationally. Last I saw, Max, second in the nation in double plays turned. So that's impressive.
Yes.
It's a great move. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Coach Steve Rodriguez, our guest, Baylor baseball head coach. This is the Baylor Coaches Show live from Rudy's, and we'll be right back after this. Back with us live from Rudy's on the Baylor Coaches Show this evening. Thanks for being with us. Our final Coaches Show of the semester. Hey, I want to mention this. Coach Steve Rodriguez is with us, but an event coming up on May 10th in the Baylor Bookstore on the Baylor campus. Coach Scott Drew has a new book out, The Road to Joy. It will be released next week on May 3rd, and there'll be a book signing at the Baylor Bookstore on May 10th. From noon until 2 p.m. So put it on your calendar. Come by and get your book and get it signed by Coach Drew. It's at the Baylor Bookstore on 5th Street on the Baylor campus. May 10th is the date. I do not. Do you?
Of course I do.
Of course you do.
Come on.
Well, you're in line in front of me. Have you read it yet? That's the question.
No, I have not. I just got it yesterday.
Okay, very good.
Oh.
When do you read outside things
That's
like
what
that?
airplanes are for.
That's good.
Airplanes, yeah. That's
Right.
I love. What's funny is I might be like the one person that loves to fly.
Yeah.
Nobody can bug me.
Because of that.
I can focus on something and not be bothered by anything.
Good for you. If I don't get a copy, can I borrow yours?
Absolutely.
Would that be okay?
You sure can.
All right. That's.
I have a funny feeling you're going to get a copy.
I may. Yeah. I look forward to it. All right. We got some questions for you. Our First Place Foods Ask the Coach. It's brought to you by First Place Foods. That's a darn good pickle. First one from Roy Evans right here. And Roy says, with a very young team, how many 2022s do you have coming in?
You know, that's an interesting question just because COVID has kind of shifted recruiting classes a little bit. And so right now we have like 18-year-olds playing against 23, 24-year-olds. And so there's this interesting shift that's going on. And, you know, we have kids who have 2 years of leverage in regards to the Major League Draft. And so trying to get them figured out with what they're doing. You know, are they going to go high enough to sign? Or are they going to come back and use leverage, you know, for future years? And so all of that is obviously that's kind of part of our sport, and we deal with that. But just to answer your question, we have 15 right now scheduled to come in next year. You know, we have a lot of guys who will be graduating, who will probably exhaust their eligibility and stuff like that after this season. But right now we have 15, and we're still looking for a couple more pieces.
Very good. Good question, Roy. Thank you very much. Here's a question from someone who didn't put their name on the card, but they say, it sounds like they are very inside your program. How's your arm feeling after throwing BP for 2 hours last night?
Oh, it was awesome.
2 hours?
My arm feels great.
You threw BP for 2 hours?
It's not a problem.
Wow.
I'm telling you, once you do it, just like it's like running and everything else. When you do it enough, it was awesome. Having the student body come out, taking swings, and what was great is that we had the ability to. I mean, there were kids coming from like different countries who have never swung a bat before, who've never done it. And they're like, "Coach, I just want to make contact." I'm like, "Absolutely, we can do that." I remember I had
Who's calling? Do we need to take that live on the air?
No, not that one. Trust me. But we were when I was at Pepperdine, I had a group of wounded warriors come out, and one of them was legally blind, and I some of them had amputations and stuff, and so but they wanted to hit really, really bad, and one of them was legally blind who had been in obviously combat and had some issues, and he had to wear a helmet kind of with a lot of things that he did, and he couldn't see. And so I said, "Hey, you just swing, and I'm going to make sure I hit." And once he made contact, it was like he just won the World Series. It was one of the greatest things. So I told people, even last night, I said, "Hey, you swing. Let me see your swing. I'll find location and speed, and we're going to make sure you." And kids it was so much fun. They had a blast.
Great.
We had all sorts of different student athletes out there. We had people from different countries. I had a young man named Michael from Cork, Ireland, come out, and he asked me. I asked him, I said, "Where are you from?" And obviously I heard the accent. He's from Ireland. And I said, "Where?" And he said, "I'm sorry, Ireland." And I go, "No, I heard what you said." And I said, "Whereabouts?" And I said, "I have some great friends from Cork." And he's like, "I'm from Cork." And I go, "Oh, yeah." And he's like, "What's her name?" I said, "Thomas Murphy." And he goes, "Yeah, there's a lot of Thomas Murphys out in Ireland." I go, "Yeah, I figured so." But it was just great having him come out and take some swings and get an opportunity, see how hard it is what we do, but at the same time, be on the field and get an experience what our student athletes get to do.
That is so cool.
It was fun.
And this was open to not just student athletes, but the regular student body.
Anybody who wanted to come out.
Yeah.
Anybody who wanted to come out.
Any home runs out of the group?
There were some guys you could tell who played in high school,
right?
Who took some ghetto hacks. I mean, it was really impressive. Like I thought they were going to hurt themselves trying to get it out of there, but it was fun. It was fun. A couple got to the track, but that was about it.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
It was pretty good.
That is
and
great.
It was everything they could to get it out there. It was pretty funny.
Right.
Yeah.
What a fun experience for them. And you were throwing to all these people?
Every single one of them.
Wow. That is great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, let's get them all to come to the game this weekend.
I hope
we
so.
need them here
I hope
this
so, but
weekend.
you know what? That's something we might do in the fall as well, for maybe like a study break or something. Just have them come out. We'll have pizza and donuts or Pokios for everybody. Yeah, we'll make it fun.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Great event. All right, there's that question. Here's one more from Bobby. Bobby says, other than the obvious, what is the difference playing on artificial turf and natural grass, and which do you prefer?
Oh, wow. Natural grass by far. I think it really produces great infielders. You have to have good hands. You have to have good feet. You have to be able to read hops. With turf, there's really no mystery in it. The ball's hit, it's going to go where it's going to go, and just based on the turf, like West Virginia's turf is really fast. It's almost like they just laid carpet right on top of concrete. I mean, it's really fast. And then Texas is unbelievably slow. Like, you've got to hit a ball really, really hard just to get it through the infield. And so, it's just different in regards to, you got to get used to the turf. But natural grass, our guys go to turf, and it's kind of easy for them. They almost get lazy. But on natural grass, I actually love it. It forces good infielders to be great infielders, and that's what I really like.
It's easier to go from grass to turf than the opposite, isn't it?
Yeah, we had a stretch where we had like 7 or 8 games that were on turf. We went to West Virginia, then we came back and we had to go to Texas State, and then we had like a lot of different games on turf. And then like the first thing I do is get them back, and we're taking a ton of ground balls to get the turf out of them. I go, I need you to get back into good habits on the natural grass.
Yeah. Wow. Really cool. Good question there. Thanks very much. That's our First Place Foods Ask the Coach. First Place Foods, that's a darn good pickle. And let's take a break. We'll be back with more with Coach Rod right after this. Baylor baseball coach Steve Rodriguez, live from Rudy's on the Baylor Coaches Show. Woo. And back on our Baylor Coaches Show live from Rudy's this evening. Coach Steve Rodriguez, our guest. A few more minutes. We'll take it to the top of the hour. Your son Nolan is on the team. How fun has that been for you guys to share the experience of baseball together?
I'll tell you what, I talked to a lot of different coaches who've had sons play for them or not play for them. And just because I wanted to understand exactly the dynamic of it. And, you know, a lot of coaches were like, you need to do it. And some were like, I'm never doing it. And so the biggest thing for me is I wanted to try to find coaches who had my personality, who, you know, kind of had the same beliefs I did in regards to certain things. And they all said the same thing. He's like, you'll regret it if you don't do it. And so, you know, he had some opportunities to go to some other schools, and the big thing for me was like I would never see him play. And I've never coached my son, not once, not Little League. I mean, obviously individually I throw batting practice to him or stuff, but I always he needed to be coached by other people. Those are his bosses, and he needs to figure that out. And so having this opportunity, I get to see him every day. I get to be a part of his life, and it's absolutely been one of the greatest things I've ever done.
It's
been
cool.
Awesome.
That is so cool. I'm really happy for both of you to be able to experience that. And Nolan, I think it just came out today, maybe yesterday, wrote a piece, Champions Tribune, on our website, BaylorBears.com. Folks, if y'all haven't seen that or read that, go find it. And that, Coach, is impressive.
I'll tell you what, when he told me what he was doing, I was just like, what does that consist of? Because it's definitely above my pay grade in regards to intellect. But he was going out there, and he was with Religious Freedoms Institute, which is called RFI, and he was literally working with the organization. Countries would contact them, and he would work with Afghanistan, Nigeria, Poland, Ukraine, amongst others, and just literally, regardless of religion, just talk about how to be able to have religious freedom in that country and what they were doing, and the policies that would go into it. And it's been pretty powerful just listening to him talk. And there were times where he would explain some of the things that he was seeing, hearing, and doing, and I would literally kind of look at my phone like, are you serious with this? Yeah,
man.
But it was really powerful, especially when you consider the things that have gone on in Afghanistan, things that have gone on in Ukraine right now. He's pretty in tune with a lot of worldly things that kids his age are not typically in tune with. Yeah.
What an experience for him.
It is. He met some people, and of course he pulls this card out. So he had this amazing opportunity to be a part of this conference call. And there was somebody, he says, that was very high up in the government who was a decision maker and who was on the call. And he's like, but I can't tell you who it was. And I'm like, look, come on. But he held to his guns, and that's what I love about him, is that I have yet to find out who that was, and that's fine. But the fact that their boss allowed him to be on a call just to be able to listen to it, and it's been pretty powerful. Yeah.
Man, that's great. So find that. It's Champions Tribune. It's on the Baylor website. Really, really impressive. And he has plans to go to law school, you said, when he finishes here.
He'd love to go to Baylor Law School. But constitutional law, religious freedom. I mean, he's the biggest thing for him is he doesn't know what he wants to do, and that's what's great. And I told him, I said, just focus on some stuff that you really have deep interest in, and he does. He has a lot of deep interest in that, and so start there, and then wherever your heart wants to be, that'll where it'll take you.
Very cool. A lot going on for young Nolan Rodriguez. Engaged recently. Congratulations on that.
Engaged Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
Almost off the payroll. He's almost off the payroll. Yeah. No, Julia got married, my daughter, in December. Nolan obviously engaged now to a wonderful young lady, and so we as parents are very excited.
Very good. Happy. Congratulations on both of those. All right, final thought, Texas Tech coming in this weekend. Another tough series. I mean, it's another weekend in the Big 12 for you guys.
No, that's exactly it. It's a really powerful team, great starting pitching. Their bullpen comes in throwing really hard, and probably one of the best offenses in the country. So, our job is just to make sure we kind of minimize some of the damage and let the offense keep doing what it's doing, and hopefully we just got to outscore them.
Very good. All right, 6:30 on Friday, 3 o'clock on Saturday, 1 o'clock on Sunday. Baylor and Tech from Baylor Ballpark. And we appreciate you being here tonight.
Absolutely,
good to visit with you.
Thank you.
Love visiting with you.
Got Texas Country Night at Baylor Ballpark tomorrow night.
Really?
Yeah, there might be some surprises on that scoreboard.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
Texas Country Night. That's right up your
Texas
alley.
Country music night. That's right.
And fireworks after the game Friday.
Fireworks, that's right. Yeah.
And go gold on Saturday.
Go gold. We're going to honor the 2012 team that was at a super regional, Feed the Beaver. We're going to have all sorts of different things coming out on Saturday. It'll be fun. It's going to be a good weekend.
Fantastic. Coach, thanks. Appreciate it. Good luck this weekend.
Jimbo. Thank you.
That is Coach Steve Rodriguez, Baylor Baseball's head coach. Bears and Red Raiders this weekend at Baylor Ballpark. Take our final break. We'll be back and wrap things up right after this.